Electrocast.
Why wait to see if you'll get something you like this Valentine's Day when you can go to BlueNile.com and find something you'll love? Whether you're looking to treat yourself to a little winter sparkle or show a galentine how much you appreciate them, Blue Nile offers a wide selection of high-quality designs, expert guidance, and free 30-day returns for the ultimate peace of mind. You can even design your own jewelry. Right now, save up to 50% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Power Ranking Show. We do it every week because they play football every week. They do it every week, like clockwork. They never miss a game, except for during COVID, which I guess it still is during COVID, and it's just always going to be during COVID from here on out. On that note, Robert, it's me and me and the real BK Bob Kelly here, the usual twosome.
A good COVID reference to start the show.
Well,
man,
I wanted to bring something up that's been really annoying me over the course of the last...
So this is a loaded intro.
Yeah, it's about Aaron Rodgers, and I just have to say, like, I just want to put this out there, like, Aaron Rodgers obviously went on the Pat McAfee show, McAfee.
Yeah.
Which is just like a fucking absolute cesspool anyway. I'm pretty sure that guy's drunk most of the time when he's doing that show. But he goes on the Pat McAfee show and he calls Travis Kelce Mr. Pfizer because he's in the middle of a rant about how the Jets didn't lose too badly against the Chiefs, I guess. Like he's like, well, we kept him quiet.
We got Zach Wilson,
It's like, okay, well done. Listen, Aaron, it's nothing personal, and all politics aside, and I genuinely mean all politics aside, we're obviously on different ends of the spectrum of both intelligence and politics, me and Aaron Rodgers, but I have to say, like, the thing that really annoyed me about that was the fact that I was seeing him call, like, people were reposting the headline, like ESPN was like, Aaron Rodgers calls Travis Kelce Mr. Pfizer. And the comments, and look, I know you shouldn't be in comment sections. It's not a Mensa meeting by any stretch of the imagination. But the comments being like, wow, didn't like Aaron Rodgers before, but now that I know he's this hilarious, it's like, guys, he called him Mr. Pfizer. He's not Don Rickles. Like, that's not good comedy. It's not a good joke.
Yeah, it's not at all.
It's just not a good joke.
There's probably at least 20 jokes about the vaccine and him sponsoring it and stuff like that he could have made that were funnier.
But that was lowbrow. I mean, and the fact that, and then he says it and everyone's like, oh my God, he went there. Like, I don't believe he went there. And it's like, okay, guys, here's what actually happened. He's in the middle of an excuse-filled tirade for his subpar Jets team that's doing fucking terrible without him. Kind of trying to intimate that they didn't do that bad against the Super Bowl champs. Insults Travis Kelce because you know that Aaron Rodgers loves to be in a celebrity relationship, and he's so fucking mad that Travis Kelce is in the uber celebrity relationship. So
100%.
Last week on this show, Bobby, I was like, oh, I'm so sick of the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce thing. Fuck it. If I know it's making Aaron Rodgers this hot under the collar, if he's this mad about talking shit about Travis Kelce, he's got to sit at home at 40, looking at a guy who's won twice as many Super Bowls as him, dating a pop star. I'd be mad, and who has opposing politics to him, politics based in science. I would be mad too. If I was Aaron Rodgers, I would be mad too. Anyway, Aaron, I just wanted to say from my couch to yours, go fuck yourself. So moving on to the actual.
It is jealousy, 100%.
Oh my God, it's jealousy. Are you kidding me? He loves being in a celebrity couple. It's one of his favorite things. He loves being a celebrity.
I think you're a little old, Aaron. I think that ship has passed, my friend.
40 years old, sir. You are 40 years old. Like, you should have stuck with Olivia Munn. I don't know what to tell you. You fumbled that bag. Here's the deal. We got to get into the power rankings because a lot has happened. I think, I don't have the stats on this, Bob, but I'd say this has to be the most differentiating power ranking season we've had. I think the most adds and drops of the top 10 that we've had over the course of the last few years, because there's teams that have looked good that have dropped out. There's teams that have looked bad that have made it back in. There's all sorts of storylines in these top 10. Would you agree?
100%. I think we're reminded every single year that the first 3 weeks mean dog shit. We can sit here.
It's worse now with the 17 games. It's worse with the 17.
bro. It doesn't look at the Bears right now, right? I know that it's very possible they blow this lead in the second half.
Yeah,
but
they're looking like they're trying to blow this lead. I'll be honest.
You're there
At the time of
but
recording, big sack
but
just now.
I mean, just think about the difference of team that you saw the first 2 weeks and the offense that you've seen, through a few quarters here and a
Nobody
few
care about
quarters like
preseason anymore. Is that what it is? Like
it's just
we got 18.
I don't
we
know,
got
man.
17
It
games.
was
Let's just
like even the Bills. Look at even the Bills, week 1, bro. It's like you lose to that fucking Jets team, and then you go out and beat the Dolphins team that dropped 70 the week before. It's like, okay,
I mean, you've got the Ravens on this. You've got the Ravens on this list, which I think is fair enough. I think that them making it back into the top 10 is fair enough after they looked. I mean, I know I've been down on them, but that's the most trick or treat fucking team ever. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get for them week to week. It's like some weeks I'm right about them, and some weeks you're right about them. Like, it remains to be seen, honestly.
It's definitely been a weird year so far. A lot of up and down. A lot of teams that we thought were good that might not be. And a few teams that are even more surprising than what we usually have now. But yeah, go ahead.
We'll talk about it. I will say, just since you brought up the Bears, we are 27-11 in Thursday Night Football. First half they looked amazing. Second half they looked like they're trying to blow the lead. But I will say, in Bears news, the man himself, the meanest man in football, Dick Butkus, did pass away today at the age of 80. He made it a lot of years.
Dick Butkus, coach, you hear that? He's cursing. No.
I mean,
how high?
I'm sorry. I'm just watching some. I'm watching Sam Howell run all over my defense right now. It's cool. We got him down.
It was a great reference.
It was a how high reference. Yeah. The wonderful thing about Dick Butkus is the story I remember reading about him when I remember I was like 10 years old and I had like an NFL. It was a book. It was like an encyclopedia book. It was called NFL's Great.
And I had the same book.
Did you? Yeah.
Book.
And I actually used it to make like a Madden team with all the guys. Like I made each one individually because like that's the kind of time I had in my hands at like 8 to 10 years old.
I'm with you, bro.
And there was this great Dick Butkus obviously had a page in it because I mean he still holds records. I mean I know it's technically pre-Super Bowl era, but I mean he holds some great records and he was by all accounts a wonderful football player. But the story they tell about him is the Detroit Lions going home on the bus after they played the Bears, and they got rear-ended. And about 5 or 6 players at the same time all went, Butkus, because they had just gotten absolutely fucking demolished by this guy. They think he was on the bus home. So, rest in peace to a legend there. I hope the Bears don't blow this lead because I was saying they picked a good night to play well. But yeah, rest in peace, Dick Butkus. Condolences to the family. Obviously, we lost a great one there in the Chicagoland area, and he was a native son of Chicago as well. So you don't see that very often. A guy growing up in the area and playing for his hometown team. Went to Illinois. He's basically the Tommy Heinsohn of Chicago. He's just like he's just all the way up, all the way through. So we got to get into this power rankings, and I want to get right to number 10 because I'm super excited about the resurgence. Go.
Before you get into number 10, can we talk about the Houston Texans real quick? Can we?
Well, you didn't put him in the power rankings, Bobby. You didn't put him in. Okay, but this is the paradox we hit every season. I have to ask you the question. Just let me ask you this question. You think the Houston Texans are legitimately good, but you also think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are legitimately bad. So them beating a legitimately bad team shouldn't be proof that they're legitimately good. How can both things be true?
Domination.
How can both things be true? But how can both things be true?
Domination, though. It's these past 2 weeks, bro, weren't just wins. They beat the Jaguars by like 30.
The Jaguars look weird as fuck. The Jaguars look weird.
But they're still. Like they're still, a very talented team.
Are they as good as you thought they were going to be this season? Are they looking like the team that you thought they were going to be?
But both can definitely be true. Where it's like, bro,
I don't think it can.
But it can, because if you think about what this team was last year, and they really didn't make that many improvements, you know what I mean? Like it's pretty much the
same.
They
made some improvements.
Weapons, Tank Della's there. There's a few guys that are better, but for him to come in, CJ Stroud, and show the resilience and show the back. Did you hear his whole spiel about like how he invites all his offensive linemen over to his house every single week for dinner, and like he's like, it's
That's
because
fucking weird.
no, it's odd.
Is he not married?
That's probably not actually. I actually thought that
because his wife would be like,
like his wife would
we
be
can't
pissed,
do this every
and my girl would be like, no fucking way.
we can't do this every fucking week. I'm sorry,
but it's just that's the type of stuff, man, that makes a quarterback great. You know what I mean? Like
that's not the type of stuff that makes a quarterback. It's not. No, it isn't. Winning games and winning Super Bowls is what makes a quarterback great. He still has
he has 300-yard passing games in his first 4 games. Justin Fields has 1 in his career.
Yeah,
but I love Justin Fields, right? I think he has a lot of potential. This guy, man, talk about the Panthers fucking up or the Bears fucking up taking Trubisky. I think them taking Bryce Young over this guy is going to be a huge mistake because I think CJ Stroud.
They also mortgaged a lot to take Bryce Young too, which was like
they did
to us.
DJ Moore has almost 200 yards receiving.
Well, DJ Moore, but also we have their pick next year, and they're losing every single game. So it's like, like even if we turn this season around in Chicago, anyway, it doesn't matter. You're talking about CJ Stroud. I think he's the jury's still out, bro.
He's got
it's been 4 games. It's been 4 games.
I know.
It's been 4 games. I'm sorry. That team is still incredibly flawed.
We knew Herbert had it after 4 games.
You can't merely break up the podcast, Bobby, based on a strength of schedule argument with the Pittsburgh Steelers like 3 years ago, and then turn around and say, well, but when you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, like you're one of the better teams in the NFL. Like you're contradicting your overall thematics here, buddy.
No, like, I just have to say, listen, they're not there yet. Okay. I'm very impressed. CJ Stroud looks like a legitimate star quarterback in this league. I give it 2 years before he's like one of the best. He looks good, man. He looks good.
All right, let's not fucking start sucking each other's dicks just yet. All right, it's been 4 games, and like you said, it's been a weird year. The fact of the matter is, I know for a fact that Houston Texans roster is the worst on paper roster in the NFL. Like I know that. Like I can prove it.
He has 2 wins throwing 300.
No, it's just they've all been playing good though. They've all been playing good, so it's weird. Something's up, and I just don't know what it is yet. I'm not ready to admit that it's the quarterback. I'm not ready to admit it.
My other point is DeMeco Ryans the best new coach in the NFL because it's very possible.
You did the same shit with Daboll.
But he was amazing with San Francisco, and Daboll still is a great coach. But he was amazing with San Francisco as their D coordinator. Bro, I think DeMeco is good too. That roster, he's doing a fucking.
It's been 4 fucking games, dude. You're overreacting.
I know I am. I know. I'm aware.
All right,
just wait.
No, listen. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong. We can't put it on the fucking. We can't chisel it yet. We can't put it on the board yet. It's too unrealistic too soon.
I'm gonna hit this pen and
DJ Moore to the house. DJ Moore to the house.
Another one?
Oh, they said he stepped out. He didn't. Oh no.
We can leave this in.
Oh my God. They said
they got to review that. Eberflus might not though. He might just.
You got to challenge that. Well, from the shotgun. It's not challengeable though, right? Because it's the
stepping out. Yeah, no, he could. It's no. The one that's not challengeable is. He
doesn't step out.
Forward progress isn't challengeable.
Oh, that's fucking frustrating. That's
but wait, you're right. They blew the whistle, so that's
they blew the whistle. Ball. It's just like the was it the Browns? Was it the Browns like week 2 or week 1?
Amari Cooper one.
Yeah.
That was so
whatever.
Brutal.
Just run it. Just score the fucking TD, man. This is the difference right here. All right. Anyway, back to the fucking power rankings. That'll leave in. That was fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
Okay. I love that the Bucs are number 10. I love that Baker Mayfield is like telling motherfuckers what's up. I think he was hurt. He was playing a little hurt that whole time. I think they gave up on him too fucking quickly. And he might be legitimately good. Look, you want to talk about overreacting? We just had a whole segment on it. This dude's doing what Tom Brady couldn't do with the same roster. And I'm not saying that he's a better quarterback than Tom Brady. Okay. Like let's obviously eliminate that hyperbole, but maybe he's a better quarterback than 57-year-old Tom Brady was in his last season while he was getting divorced. Maybe.
Well, and I think he has a lot less a lot less pride and a lot less ego too. So like,
A little less pressure.
he's right.
A little less
He's
pressure
right
that translates into though.
for sure, for sure. But he's also running the coach's offense every week, and he's doing the things that they want him to do, and not being Tom Brady and like switching stuff up. And like, I get it, but maybe sometimes running that system is what works when you have those weapons. Because I agree, man. Baker looks great.
It just looks fun to watch. Like it's like improvisational, like the pressure's off. Like,
and
these are guys that just spent their whole last season getting fucking screamed at. Like they get by the best guy to ever play the game. So
and I loved Baker in college too. Like when he planted that flag at midfield, like he's like Johnny Manziel, but without the drugs. That's what I always said is Johnny Manziel without the drugs.
I feel like Johnny Manziel had I have this thing about Johnny football. I just feel like he had the most bottled talent, like the most on paper talent I've ever seen. Like if he just had a different brain, like I feel like he comes in and just dominates the league. Like has all the physical gifts. Like it's the same thing with Robert Griffin III. Like when you talk about guys that because I don't watch as much college football as you. And when I start paying attention to college football, it's because someone's awesome. It's because someone's really okay, I got to know about this guy because he's going to be in my league next year. He's going to be on my screen next year. So, like Caleb Williams, for example, like we've been talking about him. So it's just I've started paying attention. I watched that.
I'm obsessed with that guy, man.
Yeah, I watched that Colorado game and I'm like, all of a sudden I'm fucking Mel Kiper. Like I'm fucking Lee Corso. Just I go from barely watching any fucking college football to be like, he's got all the intangibles to be the next great thing. It just sucks me right in. So, because my issue with college football, Bobby, we've had this conversation before, is it's too much. First of all, I didn't go to a college that has a team that I can root for, in D1 football. Secondly, there's UMass are decent, but they're not.
The Dean Bulldogs are pretty damn good.
Yeah, until they went off to fucking what was that, New Mexico, and got absolutely torched.
No, until that kid started beating people with foam posits. Bro. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, it always had to go downhill, right? Based on
Dean College was on World Star. Everyone, go look it up.
Oh, it was, and it was a bad beatdown too.
It was bad.
And I was
he didn't even steal the shoes too, which is the funniest part.
You know what the worst part? The worst part of that of that happening too is Dean College has a shockingly beautiful campus. Like you would be so surprised to go there,
right in front of the campus center,
and it was just
everyone go look it up.
It just
go look it up.
The backdrop was just so picturesque and lovely. Like the first time I saw Dean, I was like, "Oh, this place is beautiful." I'm so excited to go here. Like this is going to be awesome. And then it's just one of the worst fucking assaults you'll ever see in your life takes place in front of this picturesque college building.
It was wild, bro. It was wild. Imagine getting beat the fuck up with your own fucking shoes because someone thought someone takes you. It was embarrassing. Someone hits you, takes your shoes off. It was
embarrassing, but it was just look. Everybody has somebody on earth that can beat them that badly. It sucks that it happened to you. That's bad luck. It sucks that it was on video in the era I am really glad we didn't have 4K recording capabilities in high school and college.
There was facts. Yeah, facts.
I feel bad for those kids, honestly. I really do. That's too much. You're going to have embarrassing moments live out in perpetuity forever. I don't know. The internet's a permanent place, man. People don't forget.
I'm putting that one in my back pocket, by the way. Perpetuity. I like that.
You've never heard the word perpetuity before?
No, I have. I just haven't heard it in such casual context. Just dropped
That's wonderful. It's wonderful.
That was a good one.
Everyone should work in 3 to 4 syllable words into their vocabulary when they can. You also really liked what was turgid I used?
Turgid. That was a good one too.
You enjoyed that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Everybody should get turned on by language, Bobby. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful.
Sometimes, listen, I'm not. The ADHD kind of hindered my language development growing up for sure. But every once in a while, it's not. Yeah, every once in a while. It's the system. There's the whole thing. Yeah, don't even. That's a different podcast. A whole different day. It's the whole. Don't start.
I'm ready to blame the system at any of the drop of a hat, buddy.
Listen, you just keep going because my brain was just like, oh, bro.
Podcasts after 10 p.m.
My brain was like, oh wait, you want to talk about the system? Let's go.
Talk about the system. I'm about to go take an Adderall. I'll do the rest of this podcast. I got a stash of them in my drawer, just for rainy days. That's the generation we're from, my friend.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
The thing that people don't realize about ADD and because my best friend growing up was ADHD. My best friend growing up was the Matt, who's been on the UFC podcast with me. he was in like textbooks with how fucking bad his was. Like he was like off the fucking scale. And it's just like you start when you're that close with someone that has it, you start to like learn about like the different things. And it basically just means, in my summation, it just means your brain can decide to fuck you at any moment.
At all times.
You just have to be like ready for your brain to just like sneak up on you and kill you.
My credit score has gone from 700 to 540 like 3 times in my life because my brain has just decided that I'm not paying my bills for 3 months. You know what I mean? It's just like there's nothing I can do about that.
Telling me that he fucked his credit score up because
bro.
He was like just not paying attention, like not through any financial hardship, just by being like, oh,
just
fuck,
not.
There's a reason. No, I sent the letter, but the letter didn't get there.
It's brutal, bro. It's brutal.
Oh my god! Remember we used to do a football podcast?
Yeah, I was gonna say this. Went right quick, bro.
It's because it's Thursday. I really am.
It's fun content
Monday
though.
through
I
Wednesday.
like it.
I'm usually better Monday through Wednesday. By the time Thursday rolls around, the wheels fall off for me. I'm fucking 15 milligrams of edibles deep and a copious amount of alcohol. I got nowhere to be.
So, I've had sick children for 48 hours.
Oh yeah, you're probably wired.
I'm ready.
That's your problem.
I'm
wired and blowing off steam. The Rams. I think it's Sean McVay. I think he's like
smooth.
I think of all your Sean McVay talk over the years and how high you've always been on him. And I always sort of thought to myself, well, I think he's good. He's young. Obviously, he's found success in the league, but he has had like a lot of talent. But I think what you were right about, and the point you were making this week in the chat was, he may be so good that Cooper Kupp is like a system wide receiver. Like
very possible. Man.
Like we might actually be seeing a system so effective that you can plug a guy in with certain intangibles. Obviously they have to be quality in certain areas, but you can plug a guy in there and they can do the same job for you. We haven't seen somebody be able to coach a team like that since prime Bill. And I'm not saying he's prime Bill, obviously, but like that's what Bill did. Bill built a system where you could plug a guy into the skill positions with the same sort of profile as the last guy, and he would find equal, if not further, success. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's 100% correct. I think the intelligence wise, I mean, obviously he doesn't have the legacy. He doesn't have, the accomplishments and everything.
We're not saying that. That's not what we're saying.
Football intelligence wise, like the next string of coaches is definitely McVay and Shanahan leading the way.
Shanahan's when it comes to that fucking play football. It's insane.
Yeah, man. I mean, same with McVay too. Like you said, man, he's turned that slot wide receiver into a MVP candidate every single year, where it's like there's nothing you can do about it, and it's crazy. The turnover on this roster is just wild from the past.
But the fact that they're still legitimately good.
It's crazy, man. I was very impressed by the Rams, the way they look, because like even against the Niners, I know they had that like weird thing at the end where McVay literally seems like he was sponsored by FanDuel by getting it covered by the Rams. But they hung with the Niners most of that game, and the Niners to me are the clear best team in football. Like we'll get there, but
I agree.
To hang on paper with them even a little bit is an accomplishment with that roster, in my opinion.
I agree wholeheartedly. You know what I think it was for McVay for me? It's the fact that he picked a haircut in the 3rd grade in like 1998 and just stuck with it. Like I had that haircut, but that was the era.
Do you think he still uses LA Looks hair gel?
I was gonna say it's like he's using clear hair gel with like bubbles inside it.
With the little bubbles,
like we all use
the hair is crusty
kids,
as fuck.
Some shit. That's still the case for sure. He's using trash like wholesale fucking gel to put up his like 1/2 inch hair on the front of his head, and I'm like, I can't trust a man who makes fashion choices like that. But then you realize that there's never been a good head coach that looks good in the NFL. There's never like it's like he has to look like shit, otherwise he wouldn't be a good NFL head coach. Bill Belichick, Andy Reid. I mean, the list goes on. That might be why you guys were pumped when you got McCarthy. It's just like catching strays for no reason.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you bring that up. I feel like my obsession with these coaches, because you're right. Like anytime I see a coach that's like next level, that's actually doing stuff that like people are noticing.
Yeah,
I
you
get
are
so like enamored with it, and it's just like I'm pretty sure it's because for the past 20 years of my life, I've had just dog shit NFL coaches run through my life. I haven't had anyone that's like, oh my God. It's been like Dave fucking Campo, Wade Phillips, fucking Jason Garrett for half my fucking life.
Huge fall off from Jimmy Johnson too, I think, is like because he was like he was such a legend, and like you guys do have like this kind of storied history right before you got there of all these guys like that what's his name that they named the high school in King of the Hill after, Tom Landry. It's like you have this like laundry list of great coaches that coach these like great QBs, and then you have to go. I mean, I know what that feels like when you're supporting the team that has all this history that you didn't get to experience, and now you're just taking the fucking brunt of it, you know. And I think it makes it better when they
it does
when they finally pay off, you know.
Well, but you learn to appreciate the smaller things more. That's what I think. That's the point here. Is like, you know, when you have shitty coaches your whole life and you see a great coach, I just feel like you know it more. You know what I mean? You know it more.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, this guy's fucking got it.
That's
100%.
true.
And that's how I feel with McVay.
Can we talk for a second? I don't mean to like totally fucking steer this off the rails again, but can we talk for a second about something I've been kind of thinking about over the past few days, because we've been talking, obviously we participate in group chat with like several Patriots fans, like more than several, and we're in a fantasy league with 1 million, and you know, we grew up with them and neither of us are. So, you know, you and I share this kind of experience of being in like hostile New England territory and being a fan of a different team. And like they were such cunts during like certain periods of that success, like collectively, like they were such assholes at certain periods of that success. And I really thought I was going to enjoy the like phases of their downfall like a little bit more. But like there was something so depressing about that Dallas game from my perspective, which I'm sure you don't share because obviously you were cheering for the Cowboys. But I also kind of wanted to talk about this anyway because you didn't get an opportunity. They brought you on for the Patriots preview show on Missing the Point, and
like,
did not bring you on for the reaction show. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity since like this show is your and I's little baby.
I think the behavior in the group chat may have had something to do with that.
Dude, I was not trying to stick my fucking, you know, boot in, but I really did actually authentically. And I thought about it afterwards and I was like, maybe I shouldn't. Oh, nice fucking play, dude. Fuck. They're in the red zone and we just broke up a pass that was about to be a touchdown. I legitimately was just thinking out loud, and I didn't mean to like make Mike's day like that much worse when I was like, dude, I haven't weighed in on this, but I'm just letting you guys know watching this game as closely as I am because I had just that game on the TV because I just wanted to see it. Like it was just had the most interesting storyline to me. I obviously had 2 other screens going. But that was my like the one I chose in the later time slots, which weren't great. Those games were not great on Sunday, but
it's that 9-3 bullshit, bro.
I said the Mac Jones thing. I don't know if you remember, if you were following along the timeline, but I said the Mac Jones thing like right before it all started to really fall apart. Like it was like right before it all started to go like really, really wrong. Because Mike was like, no, he's good. They just got to get him some time. And I was like, bro, I'm telling you. I don't do a lot of other shit with my time. I know you don't either, but I don't have lenses on for this. I'm looking at this guy play football, dude. He sucks, bro. Like he sucks. Like
to tell him, man.
I'm like, he's not good. And I was like, I started in and I was like, dude, I can just see it. He's gonna have a headset on the Browns sideline in like 3 years. And like you just see the sideline reporting where it's like, hey man, we love having. Oh, God damn it! They fucking let up a touchdown. They're actually gonna blow this fucking lead. I don't believe it. I don't fucking believe it.
9 now. 9.
Bad. We need to fucking. This is so depressing. It's getting worse and worse. I was like, I can see them giving the sideline speech. You know, oh yeah, well we love having Mac in the system, man. Like nobody knows the playbook better than Mac. Like that's why we love having him as the backup. You can just hear Al Michaels being like. Yeah, they love him over here in Cleveland. I mean, he's there. He's taking.
He does all the right things, bro.
He does all the right stuff, you know, and he's ready. He's ready to go. He's ready to come off the bench when he's called upon.
He pretty much prepares like he's the starter. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and you know he's around. He's talking to the guys, but he's in a cap, and he's on the fucking sideline.
He has a great relationship with the starter. They're best friends. Great relationship. There's no animosity between the two of them. I agree.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, he's not good, man. He's just not. Like I said it last week. You know, you see more unbelievably terrible play. It's not even more. You only
like throwing
see
back across his body.
unbelievable, bro. That's you cannot do that.
No.
Especially against a good defense, especially without the playmakers, especially when you don't have the arm talent. There's so many reasons why Mac Jones should not be making that fucking play, and he made it like 4 times. It's like, dude, what? I don't even know what he's seeing anymore. He's lost.
Just in my old man wisdom about the like back across your body throw. I got 2 great examples of why you shouldn't do that. One, it's a bad habit we all had in Madden that always resulted in a pick.
Square.
Like we all
Square.
had that habit at one point. We were like, I see him, I can see him, and it's like, nah, dude. Also, I watched Donovan McNabb be able to kind of do it for like a couple seasons and like pull it off because he had a fucking gun.
Yeah, he got it.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh no, he can't do it anymore, but he's still doing it. And like everybody's fucking just picking him off at will. Same thing with Brett Favre. Brett Favre would be like, yeah, but like, watch this.
The
like,
Vikings throw, bro. That's the number one.
Yeah.
Across the body. Don't do this.
And it's because it's just a guy like Brett Favre that's like, I just got a cock as big as your arm, and I'm just gonna sling this motherfucker as hard. And it's like, nah, you don't, but you're still sending it to fucking journalists.
Wrangler can't wrangle this, baby.
He needs
to comment.
He needs someone to wrangle him to stop being a fucking
keep it in there,
a
man.
Predator.
To comment on the Patriots part, though,
please. Floor is yours.
The reason why it's not as fun is because it seems like it's a whole different fan base now where everyone before it was all day, every day, every Sunday. You went on Facebook, it was Patriots. Everybody. There wasn't one person from Massachusetts who wasn't like, Patriots girl, I'm the Patriots fan. Like, bro, they're all gone. Facebook was, I put up 2 status. So I used to put up, I
just as a tiny aside, like most people have left Facebook, Bobby. I am just putting that out there too. There's like
Facebook, Twitter,
in the data.
Well, whatever Facebook is, all of them, right? I put up a few statuses. I used to get like, rants, people getting pissed at me because I'd be shitting on the Patriots. Nothing. Not one fucking impression, not one thing. And it's just like, it's so sad. And it's almost like, it's like, God damn you guys, where you let us go through all this shit all these years and gave us so much shit for it. And we just waited. And now it's here, and there's no one to give shit to because they all fucking abandoned ship, bro. Like, that's how bad it is. They all abandoned ship. There's no Patriot pride anymore.
Can I just tell you something? Can I tell you something? That's totally off topic, but they just cut to Everflus on the Thursday night feed, and he looks like, what people look like when they're like losing money and they're about to lose more.
Big eyeballs.
Eyeballs. He's like pasty. He's like sweating. He's pushing his hair out of his face, and he's just like, it's cool because the Bulls are going to cover. So once the Bulls cover, I'll be fine. Like that's the energy he's putting.
Then I can pay off the other debt with this money, and then we'll be good. And then I'll have like 400 extra on top of it. So
he's got the energy of somebody who might have his legs broken later. It's a little scary. Anyway, I even went as far as the Patriots discussion goes. I even went as far as to say sorry to Mike, because I must have really felt like a real boot to the teeth after already watching like the defining game of Mac Jones's career, probably. And also the game where everybody, and I thought, I think it was probably Craig or maybe Ray. Those are our 2 most active tweeters. I think we were one of the first people to ask the question on Sunday. Okay, it's time to talk about Bill Belichick. And then that became the narrative.
We've been saying it for a few days, man. For a few weeks.
And I think I think it might be one of 2 things. I think it might be true, or it might be the kind of toxicity that you can expect from this kind of losing streak and level of performance. And I think it's like, it's hard for me to, I'm not just going to accept that Bill Belichick like isn't a good head coach of a football team. But people were making the point that the offense just looks like prehistoric. Like it just looks like old. Like it just doesn't fit like the modern NFL. And it's like, can Bill Belichick check his ego enough to bring in an innovative offensive coordinator that has new, fresh ideas? Or does he really just think still that he can do everything himself?
Well, I just feel like, not to turn this into a Pats podcast, but like I feel like
It's an interesting thing to think about. This is a dynasty that's existed across our entire lives. And we basically just watched that game that told us that they were done. And we've been waiting for that game for a long time. And I guess I just didn't get the same kind of like high off it because I thought I had seen it 6 times already and I was wrong every other time.
I was definitely very high off this game, just like big.
No, for
just
sure
like,
you were. You were, but it was against the Cowboys.
No, but so I feel like it's the talent kind of got away from Bill, if I'm being perfectly honest. That's where I would take it, where it's like he thought he could still be Bill and not pay attention to how athletic the game is getting and how the freaks are running the game. And that's just period. When you have a freak athlete who is a great football player, he dominates the game and he wins you football games. And Bill hasn't had one of those since fucking Randy Moss. And it's just like, I feel like he thinks his system is good enough that he doesn't need the freak athletes. But guess what? This is a different breed of football, bro. You need the
But
guys.
even the McVay thing we were talking about.
It's like McVay
he still puts these like, premier athletes in key positions. Like that's what the game is now. It's like it's premier athletes in key positions, and the key positions are different now than they were 10 years ago. Because the linebacker position is now completely about how much, like for me at least, or what I would be trying to build is about how good you are at filling holes to stop the run early, and then also being able to backpedal for coverage, which is like mostly what I want from my linebackers now, which used to not be the case because those guys that are built like the linebackers from when we were kids are DNs now and like edge rushers now. And or even like I would go so far as to say like athletic like defensive tackles, where it's all about like we've been talking about for the last fucking 3 years since we started this thing. It's all about being able to pressure with the front four and being able to cover with your backfield, with your defensive backs. And it's like those linebackers, like, the Ray Lewis's, the Brian Urlachers, the Lawrence Taylors of the world, like those guys are prototype. Like they're now the Myles Garretts of the world, like they're there to like fully bring 4-man pressure on the quarterback, the JJ Watts. Like they might even get a touchdown if they like pop up athletically for a screen, and like you can, or an interception at least. But realistically, what their job is to read and then pressure the QB. And the Patriots just don't look like they've kept up with that ideology, and offensively, they're not preparing. Like the poor guys on our group chat talk about how bad their offensive line is, but it's like they're systemically bad though. Like they're not blocking the right way, like they're not set up for success. Like I don't even know what their talent would really be, but they like create a weird pocket for Mac Jones almost every time. And then Mac starts to panic like immediately, which we saw. And then it's like, okay, let's roll him out. Let's roll him out a little bit. It's like, well, he can't do that. Like he's not that dude. So what else you got? Be like, what other ideas do you have? Like, that's the problem. And that's why I think that game specifically, everyone started sort of turning on Bill because it looked fucking ancient. It just looked like all of a sudden we had taken a leap and just left him behind, which I know is extreme and harsh, but the guy, and I still think the guy is one of the best football minds we've ever had, if not the best football mind we've ever had.
I think he's the best for sure.
But I just think like something kind of switched, and I'm just worried about him. I don't want him to go out. It's better to burn out than to fade away. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather see him just bow out.
Yeah, I agree because everyone gets old, man. It's a fact of life where it's like,
even if you're not playing, sometimes you can age out of this stuff,
Yeah, I just feel like when you watch that team, man, it looks like an old fucking man is coaching it. Like, period. Like they're not.
It's like they elected Joe Biden.
It's I think that the bet. Nice.
That dude is old as fuck.
I like to. Never mind. We're not. That was yeah, it's just like when you have a team that used to be known for how they ended halves, right? It was like their thing. They scored, they got the ball back, they scored again. That's how they dominated you. Like it went from 7 to 21 before you could even fucking know what the fuck happened. And you're like, oh shit, we're fucking getting killed now.
Yeah.
You know what the fuck just happened, man? That was the Patriots.
That is every time you fucking played the Patriots, you'd be like, wait,
you were like, oh,
how are we losing so bad
in this game, bro? Yeah. But that's just not the case anymore. And it's like the past 2 weeks are the perfect representation of that, where it's like both weeks they had a chance to drive down at the end of the half and score and get the ball back and be back in the game.
And you just know, like there was a period where like Brady and a lot of this was I don't want to have the conversation of like turns out it was Tom the whole time, because that's just so unnuanced and stupid. Like it just wasn't. It was the whole thing. But like the fact is, there was a time where you would be watching a game and there was no surer thing than like, oh, you gave Brady the ball back with too much time on the clock. You fucked up. It's done. Like they're gonna it's gonna be death by 1,000 cuts. Like their 2-minute drill. Right, whether it was halftime or the end of the game, but like more aggressively the end of the game, it was death by 1,000 cuts every time. It was like they're gonna kill you by 5 to 7 yard increments, and not 3 to 5 yard increments, like 5 to 7, where it was like they get every check down on you. They end up in different areas of the field every single time. Your defense is confused. They're running hurry ups, but they're like waiting for the plays to develop, so it's still taking just as long, and because Tom Brady's so well protected, and they're just methodically chipping away at you and coming down the field. And it was a joy to watch at times. It was a genuine joy to watch when it was happening to somebody that wasn't your team. And I was just talking to you guys about the way that they were basically, it was essentially impossible to stop them once they got in the red zone for a period, because they had that bubble screen play that worked like every single time.
The Amendola Edelman,
corner,
like
the back corner,
the front corner of the end zone, where it was like the pivot play or whatever the fuck it is.
And in all of those plays, they would always be like wide open. Like they would basically be telling you what they were gonna do. Yeah. And then they would still work, right? And it was just like, so when you say, well, I think Bill really just believes in his system so much and it's killing him, it's like, I would too. I would fucking believe in that system too. I've watched it be the best system of the entire NFL for 2 decades. So yeah, I get it. And I don't think, well, I guess my overall point is I don't think what's about to happen or what's currently happening should mar his legacy. You know,
absolutely not. It definitely doesn't. But like, the first thing to go when you get old is your attention to detail. Well, yeah, that's facts. But your attention to detail when it comes to like, you know, like your daily routine, or like, you know, how much extra work you put in, or like shit like that, dude. And it's like, it's so clear that's what's happened. You know what I mean? Like, when do you ever see a Patriots team with 13 for 130 on fucking penalties? You don't. You didn't. You just didn't. And now it's routine, where it's like they're clearly not a team that focuses on the details like they used to. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
it was a good Patriots segment. That was good.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, everyone.
The guys to listen to it, because it was. I thought it was fair. Fair. You didn't take as much.
Listen, man. You listen. I just, you know, like we'll get to the Cowboys portion of it when we talk about them, but like the way I see it, man, is they're in the worst possible position moving forward that they could be in, where it's like, if you stick with your guy, if you stick with your guy, you're insane with the quarterbacks that are coming out next year. So it's just like, you better start tanking right now, because if you go 8-9 and you fuck yourself out of one of these quarterbacks and you have to go Mac Jones again for another year, you will regret it for at least 10 years.
There's nobody in
at least 10 years.
There's nobody in New England that has any sort of level of football knowledge that doesn't have at least part of themselves that wants to be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes right now.
You have to be.
I mean, it's the only call. Here's the problem: GM Bill Belichick and his complete fucking desire to not give whoever his quarterback is the ball, like the weapons that he needs. Like, I could genuinely see the Patriots, and I know this sounds harsh, but I could genuinely see the Patriots getting the number 1 pick, having the option to draft fucking Caleb Williams, and then either not drafting him first or trading the pick.
That would be one of the most egregious things in the history of football. Like, he's that good, man, where it's like, if at this point in Bill's career, it is either Caleb or Bill. I said this to Mike, man. It has to be Caleb. If not, it is now a badly run organization, because it's like you cannot make that decision for the future of your franchise.
Right.
You just can't. You
No,
can't.
you can't. And it's also like, please don't put me in this position to have to make this choice, because I'm gonna have to
just
the new guy. Like, let's not do this. Let's not. Yeah. I don't think Kraft likes to lose either. Like, he's probably not used to it. So I'm sure there's something fucking turning in his brain at this point. Somewhere above that white collar and blue shirt. All right.
What are we at 7? We're at 7. We're only at fucking 7 right now.
It's gonna take a second. It's gonna take a second for sure.
You might have some patching to do, where you have to like move some. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They threw another fucking PI on the fucking Bears. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Eberflus looks like he's gonna burst a blood vessel in his head. He's watching his Bears tenure end right now. So we're all watching it. I don't think that was pass interference, but we'll have to see. It's not. It isn't. It just isn't. It's not. They can't call that PI. Give me a second. I need to find out if they call this a fucking pass interference.
You're fine.
Sorry.
You're good, man.
They're looking at it. They're talking about it, but he doesn't touch him. Like, he genuinely doesn't touch him. They're discussing whether they better be talking about how it's not a fucking PI. They're in a fucking little referee huddle right now.
I hate these fucking huddles, man.
No foul. Okay. Phew. Looked like we were about to get fucked by 2 big, not like pass interference related calls in this game overall. So I didn't want that. There was no foul. All right. Good stuff. Anyway, the Detroit Lions. Whew, that offense, huh? That offense is fucking exciting to watch. It is a fun little machine they're running. I'm ultimately satisfied about it, because I fucking told you guys they were going to be good, and no one believed me. Except for Mike.
Believed you. I believed Mike believed you 3 years ago.
You didn't believe me about the Vikings either. You didn't believe me about
the Vikings. I did not believe you about. The Lions, I definitely did. I was on the Lions were in my first 10, weren't they? Yeah, they were.
Were they?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I'll take it. I'll take you on board from the Lions train. You can have some stock.
Thank you. I just want some residuals.
Yeah. No, all right. I'm with you.
The thing that impresses me most about them is, like, we knew the offense was good. You know what I mean? Like, we know Ben Johnson's a good coordinator. We know, what we saw last year. They have better running backs. He's great, man. They have better.
Montgomery is a great pickup for them. I knew he was good. I was sad to lose him.
He's the type of runner that Campbell likes too. Where
they've got an embarrassment of riches in the backfield. Their only criticism is not using Dobbs as
Gibbs
much. Gibbs. I mean, yeah, Gibbs.
But the thing is, though, it's like Swift is kind of a pussy, and that's the running back they had last year. He's definitely a pussy. And,
that's what they said, though. That's what they said. They were like, he's a bitch.
Fucking what's his name? Hated him.
Yeah.
The running back, was it Levins? No, not Levins.
I don't know. I don't watch Hard Knocks, but I know. I think that they were literally like, we got to move on from this guy. He's soft.
We did. Yeah. They didn't like him at all. So Montgomery's the opposite of that, where he's a downhill. Fucking he'll seek out contact. That's the kind of runner he is. And that's the kind of guy that fucking Dan Campbell is. So it's just perfect.
Yeah.
But the defense is what's impressing me, man.
Really? Because they're better than you thought they were going to be? Not because they're good, but because they're better than you thought they were going to be?
Because last year they were bad.
They were awful.
They were bad. Yeah. And this year they're above average. And that's a big jump to make in the NFL when it comes to defense, man. You don't see that much. You know what I mean? Yeah. Usually a bad defense stays bad unless something drastic happens. But, like, there's just a lot of guys on this team that are making plays. And Aiden Hutchinson looks real. I'm big on the Lions. And plus, the rest of the division does not look very good. So I think they might be in control of that North pretty much all season. I don't know. Do you think the Packers can overtake them?
No, I don't think the Packers are good at all. And I think they've been super
the Vikings,
inflated.
No fucking way.
No, the Vikings are done. Maybe the Vikings. I mean, on talent, the Vikings could turn their season around, but that's gonna be
it's weird.
Decline.
They just have no running game, bro. They have nothing in the running game portion, where it's like Kirk Cousins is leading the NFL.
Well, they let one of the best running backs in the NFL walk away. So, like, that's
for nothing. Yeah,
for nothing.
They're fucking idiots. Yeah.
I said that in the preview show.
The
I'm
Bears,
guys, I mean,
I don't want to be mean, but like the Bears aren't catching the Lions.
The Bears aren't catching the Lions, no, but I also said the Bears are going to come second in the NFC North, and I still think that's possible. I mean, I'm watching a 30-20 game in Thursday Night Football in prime time. Coach's job is on the line. It's 3rd and 15. The Washington Redskins have the ball. Ooh, sorry, the Commanders. I'm an old man. You got to give me some leeway on that.
Can't do that. Who did that? Was it Michaels? No, someone did it where they said
someone big
Redskins,
did do
and
it.
was
Yeah,
just
I mean, it's
so
kind of hard.
awkward.
It's just like you associate the two things in your head. But our punt returner and kick returner, Velus Jones, who's also listed on the depth chart as a wide receiver, is currently in our secondary right now. That's how beat up our secondary is.
He used to be a corner, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's he's one of those guys where it's like this, he's kind of both, but it's like the point being we're fucking depleted and in the secondary, and we're getting cut up in the secondary, and we just had another injury. So we're just a little beat up out there. So yeah, I'm not saying that the Bears are a great football team or anything. I just think that I did have some information going into the season to be high on them, that their roster was decent. And if we spend another season like accruing the kind of draft capital we could have going into this offseason where our record's bad and the Panthers' record's bad, if you don't really massively fumble that, if you don't massively fumble the number 1 and the number 2 pick in the NFL draft, and you just do the smart thing by getting Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. and just calling it a fucking day, then you that you're good, you're fine, your franchise is in great shape, and it's about the deals that you made with the Carolina Panthers of the world. So just saying.
I completely sympathize with you, but 2024 wasn't my question.
I know. No, I know. But I mean, when you mention them, I have to immediately go into coping. Like I have to immediately go into. Like,
I saw all the wheels turn, and you're like, bro, I'm gonna rationalize everything to myself in the next 45 seconds. There's nothing you can fucking do about it. So
honestly, those first fucking 4 weeks have hurt so bad. I'm like so devastated. And it's like, just watching this game, it's like, and then last week they gave me like a fucking glimmer of hope that their offense, like, and Justin Fields looks like who I thought he was, which I really think
that was the exact same thing as last year.
Now we're like,
exact same thing.
It's so upsetting.
I got it. So I want to, this was the point I was making earlier. It was like the 4-week thing, I think is so big. I think the Bears could have a chance to not be, one of the worst teams. I think they could have some upside by the end of the season again. By the way that they're looking right now. You know what I mean? Two straight games, 30 points. So
yeah, like they're not like devoid of people that I think could have good seasons. Like I've gone through offensive seasons with the Bears where I'm like, I have no idea who on this roster is going to be at all good. Like who on this roster is going to like the last like 2 Jay Cutler years up until we drafted Fields. It was like, oh, it like Trubisky, that's who I'm cheering for. Like at least it's Justin Fields. Like at least there's this like Justin Fields factor. Like where it's like he's got that thing. So maybe he turns his season around. That's basically the only thing I'm hanging on to. So that was a good Detroit Lions conversation we just had.
I know, that's good.
Moving on, it's your turn.
I asked you one question, and you're like, I'm gonna defend the Bears
I'm sorry.
until the fucking death.
They're like, I'm halving the bag, and they're on their football right now. Like I don't know what else.
I know. This is one of my favorite episodes ever. Good thing our downloads are down. You know what I mean? Fuck it, right? Let's just. Maybe this would be the one that takes off because people are like, these guys are fucking crazy. The fuck is wrong with them? Yeah, my boys. Yeah, my boys.
Cowboys hour. Well, I mean, who are they? I thought the Cardinals, just to tee you up here, I thought the Cardinals had a good enough week that
I agree.
That it made that loss seem less bad, and you had a good enough week where it righted the ship almost exactly in the most ideal possible way that it could have on the bounce from the Cardinals loss, which shouldn't have happened still, but it was an ideal week for a response, right?
For sure. And if you think about it, man, it's like everyone, on the pod was like, oh, you lost to Josh Dobbs. Bro, Josh Dobbs is better than Mac Jones. So Like it's the past few weeks is not wrong, bro. Not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Are you signing that to the group chat right now? Is that
no?
Like Bobby just said Josh Dobbs better than Mac Jones. But yeah, that was impressive, bro. Deron Bland looks real. That dude is good. I knew he was good last year. I didn't think he was this good. Obviously, I think the Diggs injury had a lot to do with what we saw against that Cardinals team. And I know it sounds like an excuse or whatever, but like you said, you saw what happened to the Pats as soon as Christian Gonzalez went out. Their CB1. It's like you lose your CB1 midweek when you're prepping, man. That's a big deal. So I think the defense that we saw, that's the real defense.
The Bears CB1 is out right now, by the way. So let me tell you something else about the Chicago Bears. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I mean, you can if you want.
No, I think it's obviously it's different because I think losing losing either of the Diggs brothers is season hurting. You know what I mean?
Losing anyone in the top 5 at their position is you know what I mean? It's just so detrimental, man. And the only thing I worry about
DJ Moore to the house. DJ Moore to the house. Yeah, baby. What's up? We're not fucking this one up. Woo!
There you go.
They tried.
Is that 3? That's 3. As he's over 203 touchdowns now. He must be.
Oh my god, I have him on my fantasy team and I'm playing Joe. I'm absolutely going to be decimating him.
Going off now.
He's cooking.
So is Fields.
Let him cook.
Fields is going the fuck off.
Their offense has looked good. Honestly, this team took the fucking Eagles to overtime last week. I don't give a shit. I'm fucking taking this dub. I'm taking it.
Yeah, take it and run with it, man.
Just like fucking DJ Moore. Sorry, it's going to be a Cowboys moment. I didn't mean to interrupt your Cowboys.
It's okay. Listen, I'm just fair. I'm happy for you. I really am. I was going to tell you that. I'm happy the past. I know what it feels like.
We became brothers in pain during this run of this podcast.
Brothers in apathy. Where we're just like, well, we might as well pay attention to the rest of the league because fuck my life.
Let's do a podcast. These teams get good. It's going to be the Cowboys and Bears out with David Bob.
So to rationalize why I didn't move them up at all, even though they absolutely stomped the Patriots.
Well, honestly, I think it's because
it didn't do much for me. Yeah, it didn't do much for me.
I could have agreed with the idea that they could pit the Dolphins because I thought the Dolphins looked real stinky, that they actually deserved to fall even more against the Bills. And I thought the Bills maybe deserved to take a jump because I thought the Eagles win was far less convincing than the Bills win. I thought the Bills win was incredibly convincing because I didn't want to take away the feeling that everybody had about the fucking Dolphins defense. Like they were like, yo, this is the greatest, or the Dolphins offense. I mean, this is the greatest fucking offense that's ever taken the field. But then it turns out maybe the Denver has a legendarily bad defense possibly.
It is really bad.
Actually what the problem is.
Yeah, but I also think that the Dolphins are soft and the Bills are tough as fuck. And that's going to be the trend every time they play. They're much more smash mouth than the fucking Dolphins. And they whoop their ass.
They did make them.
They whooped their ass. 4 quarters, bro. Yeah, and it's like the Dolphins still did their shit, and like they still had offensive numbers. It's just that the Bills
let me tell you real quick.
Let me tell you
Fields' stat line while it's on the screen. 27 for 34, 531 yards, 5 TDs, 158.
531.
531.
Shit.
Oh wait, sorry. I actually just read you. I'm sorry. I just read.
Is that their total offense?
It was their total to DJ Moore, but that's still pretty good. For the season, but that's still pretty good.
Oh,
that's still pretty good.
I thought you meant tonight. I was like, what?
No, I know. I was like, wow, he's actually having a better night than I thought. I was like, I don't even remember all 5 TDs.
Yeah, I'm not ready to put him up yet. Obviously, the game of the year so far is this week. I think this passes that Bills Dolphins game, Cowboys 49ers upcoming.
Sure. Sure, but we're not at the 49ers yet. So I think we should do that.
I know. So I feel like, the 6 could become 1 as soon as next week if the Cowboys do something that I'm not expecting. To elaborate more on the Cowboys portion of it. We'll get to the Niners.
Yeah.
Is I just see a lot of check marks.
It's gonna be
I see a lot of even check marks down the board, right? Running backs, wide receivers. There's so many different things that are even, and it gets the quarterback. And I have 5% faith that Dak Prescott isn't going to make that drastic fuck up against this defense to lose that game. And I have way more faith in Purdy not making that mistake than I do in Dak.
Purdy's the guy, and he's playing the kind of game that I've been telling you that Dak Prescott needs to learn how to fucking.
That's what I mean, man. And I think we're going to see it this week. And I think we're going to have a lot of trouble.
Unfortunately, I can't argue.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have. It's gonna be a great game, but I think it's gonna come down to, can Dak Prescott win us the football game? If he can, awesome.
Yeah, because you guys are so matched up head to head on so many different. Anyway,
correct.
You're skipping over fucking everybody. We have to.
No, I'm talking about the Cowboys portion of it. You know,
yeah. I do want to save some stuff for the 49ers though, because I was about to start 49ers points, and I was like, I just want to say
restraint. Look at us.
I know. Look at us. Who would have thought, huh? We're like that Paul Rudd meme. Look at us, huh? Who would have thought? Not me. Not me. I do still want to talk about that. I want to know what we learned. What did we actually learn? Because we said last week, we're going to learn so much in this Bills Dolphins game. Did we learn that the Dolphins aren't as good as we thought? Is it that extreme? Or do we have to sort of wait and see on that? Or did we learn that the Bills, and I think this is true, I think we learned that the Bills are made of a little bit more, to your earlier point, than what we thought. That's what I think. I don't think it said as much about the Dolphins as it did about the Bills, because I think the Bills look like a team that were doing that to anybody they played that day. And I think I think that says more about them than it does about Miami, if that makes sense. But maybe I'm just like over sportsing it.
No, that's 100% my perception of it, to be honest. I think they were pissed. Everyone's talking about Miami. Everyone's forgetting about us. Who the fuck do they think this division runs through? This is our fucking division. This is we're the favorites. We're the team. We're this. We're gonna go out there and show them that, you know, the new kids on the block aren't taking over this division. You know, and that's very motivating. You know what I mean? You've seen that before, where it's like this team that has this chip on their shoulder that is a great team, and everyone's disrespecting them. They come out and they're like, oh, okay, let's see what happens now. And I think that's what happened. I really do think
it was the kind of game that it was really about whose like souls soared higher out of the blocks that morning. You know, it was like who's really about it right now. And I don't necessarily think the Dolphins aren't. I just think they're built a little bit differently than this Bills team. And it's like styles make fights, right? Like matchups are the thing that determines like how the outcome of events, because it's these two forces meeting, and it's like how they kind of respond to each other, right? Like matchups is a thing, and like there's nuance to everything. And there's also this momentum game that Buffalo played so exceptionally well. Like they just went downhill on them from the jump. And I think that like the Dolphins just got a little punched in the mouth, right? And I know it's a cliche, but it's really so much more about how they react to it than it actually happening, because I think that can happen to anybody, because I've seen great teams get punched in the mouth.
It's speed teams.
They can get out tough. They can get out tough, like a rock paper scissors game. They can sort of get like, because what the Bills did was they dragged them into a Buffalo Bills football game. Like kicking and screaming into a Buffalo Bills football game. And then they just like, Josh Allen is like 900 pounds. He's like a fucking freight train. Like, we're down on his decision-making. The stocks, it's not just us. Like it's the stocks, the Josh Allen stocks. Like, his decision-making's down a little bit, you know, like his backfield backing him up is down a little bit. Like there's definitely has been some question marks about the Buffalo Bills coming into this week. And like, I agree with you that that's what they were reacting to. They were reacting to like people saying that shit and knowing how big of a win it would be over a Miami team that just rolled over fucking Denver last week, right? And it gives them it's like they took that credit now. Like they took it's like, well, the Bills could turn around and be like, we would have beat them by 80. So fuck you guys. You know what I mean? So I do think that styles make fights, and I think your point about the speed is an important one, because in order to mitigate that, don't mitigate that by trying to keep up with them. That's a fool's errand. But you can mitigate it by just like hurting them, like just pounding into them for the course of the entire game. And like you said, they didn't let up for 4 quarters.
Yeah, exactly. 40. I don't think I've ever seen a team drop 70 and they get 48 dropped down the next week, man.
48. Hold this for me. Hold this for me. Because like honestly, you're not wrong. Like Buffalo's like, you guys are a bunch of bitches.
Yeah, it's what that was, man. It's exactly what that was.
Which
100%.
I did not hate. I honestly didn't hate it. Like I don't hate the Dolphins either. I actually quite like them, and I like Mike McDaniel, and so I know you do too. But you're high on every coach except your own.
I love, except my coaches and yours.
What do you think of the Chiefs this week? Number 3 on the Real BK PRs.
They're a weird team, man. I don't know. I know you kind of joined me on like what the fuck is going on with them.
I think you're right.
It's weird.
This year, I'm not as high on them.
And I feel like they're buying into all these distractions. It doesn't, you know what I mean? The vibe just feels weird with this team. Like I say this every week when I say this, would I be surprised if we get to the end of the season, we're like, oh, well, fuck us, it's the Kansas City Chiefs again? No, not at all. But this is different, man. This is they're Kelsey with this fucking Taylor Swift thing, Mahomes, making these weird throws.
You know what's really fucking weird?
It's just the blatant defensive guys that he's throwing it to. I don't know if he was doing this before and like he just had guys to make up for it or what the fuck happened, but he's throwing it into like double coverage. You see that one short arm? I don't think
it said he had guys to make up for it. Like I think that you're bordering on like Patrick Mahomes fucking slander when you say that. Like you're bordering on like, did he have what, like, was he a product of his weapon?
He's thrown some bad interceptions this year.
Okay, but I mean, sure.
In the past, you're right. That was slander. 100%. That was slander.
Like I can't quite accept that yet. But I think what the problem is twofold. I think it's just true that they did not do enough to address the wide receiver situation coming into this season. And I think it's like that simple. Like in a lot of ways, I think that like a guy who plays like Travis Kelce plays 1 year older when his age starts with 3 and saying like he was so good last year that he can still be basically the number 1 wide receiver in the league. Like
they had professionals last year. They weren't great, but they had MVS, Valdez-Scantling, and Juju. And it's like, listen, these guys are lighting the world on fire, but like
they were doing their job.
Veteran wide receivers, and the difference between them and Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore are as your 2 top options are just, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, it's something weird is going on. But like I said,
it's a pretty big drop off from Tyreek Hill.
All right, 100%. But all this being said, it might not fucking matter, and we could still be sitting here in February being like the Chiefs are the best, Mahomes is the best, and we're fucking stupid for doubting them once a fucking again.
Okay, well, stop with the we stuff because that
hasn't happened
to me. Hold on a second. I just want to clarify my position for the kids at home. I did not say that last year. In fact, right around week 4 or 5 on one of the Monday night games that the Chiefs were in, I was like, they're winning the fucking Super Bowl, just so everybody knows. And I did not waver from that for the entire year. It's right around week 4 or 5, and 2 things happened simultaneously. I got the feeling that they're not the same team as they were, but I also got the feeling that the 49ers are fucking it. Like I really got the feeling watching them that they're it, and like they have a level of swagger on offense and a level of we can't figure out what the fuck they're doing on offense, and such a sick defense to go along with it that like I think that this might be one of the most foregone conclusion-y seasons of the entire NFL that we've watched, which is disappointing. But I think that they're going to come out against Dallas on Sunday, late game, right? Afternoon game.
Dominate.
Is the night game?
Night game.
Yeah, the Sunday night game. I think it's I don't think Dallas will have anything to like really hold their heads down about. But I think we're really going to see that San Francisco is the team to beat. They are the front runner, and it's like holy shit! Like what? It's going to be like
wagon.
It's going to be 21-7, but it's going to be like a really convincing 21-7, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course. Like 7 sacks and 2 interceptions type shit. Yeah.
And it's like, but then also the Cowboys defense is going to play really well.
And,
but the offense is just going
it's
to be
be like,
garbage.
there's going to be some like early storylines where it's like CMC's not getting the wheels moving. Like they're getting to him in the backfield, like or something along those lines. Ooh, okay, George Kittle. All right, tough one, tough pass breakup. He's dropped 3 passes. Like they're really right in his face, and I think that's going to happen early. But I think they're gonna maybe score 1 defensive touchdown. I know this is oddly specific. I do have the script in front of me. They'll maybe score 1 defensive touchdown, or I mean, I could be completely wrong. This also could be like 5-2, like if the defenses are as good as I think they are. But I really think that the trump card here is the fact that the 49ers have so many weapons that you guys don't have, and I think that's going to be the difference maker.
Can we agree that? So we skipped over the Eagles, but I think that's a good way to bring up the point I want to make. I think from what I've seen so far, these are the 2 best teams in the NFL. If I'm being perfect,
and San Francisco.
If the most impressive team so far, the Bills with that
none
weird
of the
one.
Philadelphia wins have been convincing.
Exactly, and
like
it's just
I'm not convinced by them at all.
I think when the Cowboys play the Eagles, I think we're gonna expose that defense. I think the secondary is just absolutely garbage right now. And I think these are the 2 best teams.
I could see them taking like a couple weird divisional losses too. Like I could see them like all of a sudden their record is like
they almost lost to the Commanders, bro. Yeah.
But I could just see their record like not looking that good after like 9 weeks. Like not like really actually 9 weeks in where it's sort of reflecting what we're talking about. Because like the offensive line, do you think the offensive line is still the best one in football in Philadelphia?
They have the best center. I don't know. It doesn't look like it is, to be honest. It looks different.
Your point about the coordinators seems to have made sense. And also DeAndre Swift being soft. Like all these things you're saying, it's like it's one of those kind of perfect storm things that's happening over there. And it's not quite there, but they're responding really well to their Super Bowl hangover.
I was gonna say Swift. So Swift is a soft running back, but he fits this system really well. Which is like when they're clicking with Swift in there,
when they click, they
look great. But it's a little weirder, where it's like last year's Eagles team definitely doesn't give up that drive to Sam Howell at the end of that game. That just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Right. And if Ron Rivera isn't all of a sudden a pussy and goes for 2 on that last play, they might lose that game. You know, I don't know why he decided he was going to overtime with the Eagles. That seems, like, come on. You just tied up the game in a miracle, bro. Just go for 2. People applaud you for just doing it.
He went for 2 for no reason tonight, so obviously it was in his head. It was like the math didn't really add up. Like if they had to kick the extra point, it would have been 10.
Love it.
But going for 2, it would have been 9, and it was like they didn't get it, and I was like, wait, that was weird. Like I don't get it. But I mean, Bears have gotten their first win, by the way. It's final. They've got their first win in
37-20
decade. No, 40-20.
Holy shit.
Let me tell you something though, just as a quick aside.
Dropped a burger? You could drop the burger?
Dropped a 40 burger, but also when we kicked the field goal to like make it 40 and like it was a little under 2 minutes, everybody was like, all right, yeah, we won the game. Polls came down and like showed some solidarity and support with the coaching staff, and the vibes on the sidelines were immaculate. The vibes were immaculate. And I'll tell you something else. When they started to look like they were going to come back after a bad third quarter by the Bears, the secondary started talking shit to all the Commanders players because the secondary was getting burned. They started talking shit and they started celebrating stops and started like fucking doing like hand signals and shit in their face. And it was like, you know what? Yeah, fucking get mad about it. Like, honestly, get mad about it. And like, we're in a game. Like, don't let them come back and fucking embarrass you. Like, have some professional pride. You can't let that happen 2 weeks in a row. So I mean, Justin Fields' stat lines are fucking nuts. DJ Moore looked great. I'm perfectly happy with this week.
Yeah, maybe, I know that, we've done like 14 tangents here, but I'm so totally down for another one. Maybe that Fields calling out feeling robotic and everything like that was like the perfect thing that needed to happen. It has looked
a lot smoother since then.
Because
a lot more comfortable, a lot smoother.
I just feel like when they had there was, through training camp or something like that, there was some kind of tension or something between them where like Fields wanted to do it their way. He wanted to do it really bad, but like he just felt like it couldn't, You know what I mean? It was one of those things where like you've had a job before where you're like, they teach you this way. You're like, I just don't,
Because
but
I
I got
think
to
that they
do
were
it.
trying to get
But,
the offense. I think they were trying to get the offense to look like closer to a Patriot style offense where it was like he wanted to do these check downs and he wanted to do these like short yards.
Like Cam Newton,
Yeah,
if he could
like
throw the ball.
yeah, exactly. And it's like
Yeah.
I want to just go across these things. And Fields is like, yo, honestly, I got legs and I got a deep ball. Can you just take advantage of the things that I can do, especially after we get DJ Moore on the fucking roster?
Yeah.
And he does have a fucking deep ball, dude. Like I've been saying it. And it's like we just haven't been fucking doing it. Like, and he honestly, he threw so many good fucking passes like into the fucking breadbasket today. And like back corner, back shoulder, like he was dropping those passes. And quite frankly, those are the passes you want your fucking quarterback to have. You don't need to force him to. I know that it seems like the other set of passes and the checkdowns and the bullets and stuff are easier set of passes to have, which he also displayed tonight, by the way. But realistically, if your quarterback can just find a fucking streaking wide receiver down the sideline, why don't you just let him do that? And here we are. It's that fucking simple.
It was like the Vic issue all those years, man, where it's like, you know, they kept trying to make him be like this pocket quarterback, and like, you know, it kept.
But that's not the same thing as that, because I think Fields looks good in the pocket. I think he looks good in the pocket if you run the kind of. He looked great in the pocket tonight. You got to run the kind of. You got to run the kind of plays that work for his style. He's got a cannon, and it's super accurate. You know, I honestly think it might have just been an issue with the fact that he can run. Like it's like he can run so well that you don't know what to work on other than that. You know, and I've seen that, like, it's like that with those other QBs where it's like, all right, well, I mean, he's got wheels. We should take advantage of that. And it's like, yeah, take advantage of that in select situations, man. Like in situations where you should be running the ball, you know, like it doesn't matter who does it. Those don't
like on 4th and 1 with the game on the line.
Yeah, just dude, he got every fucking QB sneak yard. All we did was the butt push, which obviously is the most broken play in football, and everybody should be doing it. And like it took us 4 fucking weeks to start doing that, which drives me up the fucking wall, dude. And everybody in football should be doing that right now. They should be making that. They should be begging them to ban that play, and begging them to ban that because that's what they're gonna fucking ban that play. They're 100% banning that play for the record
because of the Eagles. Funny enough, full circle.
I mean, they run it really well.
It's Kelsey, bro. He's so good. He's so good. Jason Kelsey is just as good at center as Travis Kelsey is at tight end.
Center is not as important of a position.
No, I mean definitely not. But yeah,
I like Jason Kelsey's like personality. Like that, their podcast is really good.
It's so good. Just the Edelman episodes are just perfect, bro. That's a great fucking episode. No, that's cool. You should have invited him on. You know, he'd have fun with us.
People were taking pictures with him, and I was just like,
you don't want to be that guy.
I fist bumped him on the way by because I had to walk past him for his class.
Perfect interaction.
And I was just like, perfect. I was like, "What's up, dude?" And I like fucking just did that, and he was like, "Hey, man," and like fist bumped me back, and I was like, "That's it, we're good."
It's perfect. That's like I usually go with that too. I'm not a picture guy.
It's just it takes too long, and I get really awkward.
Yeah.
And but I do have a picture of Kurt Warner and one with Marshall Faulk because I really thought getting the greatest show on turf was like
that's important. That's important.
I was because those guys, I was like 11, you know, that's a different story. You know, like when those guys were playing football, like everything was magic to me. They look like titans, like on Mount Olympus. Those guys.
Yeah, so fun. They relate to the Dolphins. That's the Dolphins of this year, where it's like if you punch them in the mouth, like the Patriots did, you could slow them down. You just had to punch them in the mouth. If you didn't, they were gonna whoop your ass. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the same thing with them.
Yeah.
But all that being said, like we're saying all this, we did this the same thing last year, where it's like, oh, is this team good? Is this team good? Is this team good? But we always knew there was a few absolutes, man, and it was like the Chiefs, 49ers, and the Eagles. And we already said the script thing. We're just running it back this year. It's the same. We're literally going through, like, I remember this exact podcast last year. Less, you know, train rides to the side. But like this exact podcast where we sat here, we're like, is this team good? Are they good enough? The Chiefs might not be that great, this and that. It's like, dude, we know who's good, I think. That's what I feel like we do know who's good already.
There's a couple bubble teams. There's a couple bubble teams, you're right. And there's a couple 2-3 teams that aren't as bad as we think or thought. But we know who's definitely good. And it is the 49ers I think the Cowboys are definitely good. I think the Bills are definitely good. I think the Chiefs are definitely good. I think the Eagles are definitely good. And I think the Dolphins are definitely good, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think there's going to be much that could happen to any of those 6 teams that could make me think that they're like definitively worse than I think they are right now.
Barring injury, obviously.
Barring injury, and also like I'd say the team of those 6 I actually have the least confidence in is the Eagles because of what their wins look like. But that could also change pretty drastically, and they're coming off a Super Bowl loss. So like they've battled against that adversity, and they look like a team who hasn't lost a game yet because they haven't. So it's hard to talk shit about. Well, they were saying Bill and Cousin Sal were saying there's 2 undefeated teams and 2 winless teams. And they were saying, who would you put money on to be the first one to like break the goose, like break the duck, like get first loss on the winning side or first win on the losing side? And it was the Bears. And Simmons was like, the Bears can get a win. So I appreciated that from Bill. He was like, because he made that call. He was like, the Bears can get a win. They can get a win. So that felt good.
It's true, man. I mean,
and also if the fucking Panthers keep losing, like we're in the money, man. We're in the money. What we're being set up for right now is a season, if we could really get good, is a season where we had a decent season. So our pick is like whatever, but we have this like Caleb Williams question then like hanging over the franchise because Justin Fields has like he needs to either have like a season this good every fucking single week, like where he's throwing every like 4 or 5 touchdowns, like, or, like 3 TDs, like plus some yards on the ground, plus like, 300 plus yards like passing every week. Then it's like, doesn't matter. No one's going to blame you for passing on Caleb Williams. Look at the season Fields just had. But then if it's like on the border and it's like, he was all right, but I don't know, this other dude's like a lock, and you don't want to do that thing where you bring him in and it's like, well, who's the starter? It's like, I don't know, we'll decide after training camp. It's like, oh no, like it can just get like a little messy in the fan base and in the news media when that happens,
If Fields doesn't prove he's a top 10 quarterback, I don't think you have a choice. I don't think you do, man, because if he's not an elite guy by the end of the season, man, it's like Caleb Williams is going to step in day one with the tape he has, with what's going on. Like you remember how good of a prospect Andrew Luck was.
That's what I said. I said that to my friend tonight. I was like, he's the best prospect since Luck.
He's
whatever,
and he's better. He's better. And it's like he's Luck with Fields speed. Do you see the moves this guy can drop on the sideline, man? It's and he can drop 70. I literally saw a tape from high school.
He doesn't have the same kind of running.
He can drop.
He does
not the same, but it's it's more. It's like, not as good. It's not as good. Josh, maybe not even Josh Allen. It's more like Joe Burrow, I guess. Now
Donovan McNabb.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take McNabb. Where it's like
Aaron Rodgers,
50 yards.
Aaron Rodgers,
Russell Wilson.
Early Russ, really early.
Yeah, it's more early Russ, I think.
I'll take early Russ for 500 please, Alex.
Bro. So
he's got a great arm, and he seems like he's NFL ready, brain wise. So I think
it's not the truth. Yeah,
it would be surprising, but what you can say is you can all like if we're haunted by this Panthers pick, if they just continue to lose games and you just know it's going to be the number 1 overall pick, and we're just haunted by it, and it's like pressuring Fields, but Fields has this great season, you can say like, okay, great, we got the number 1 overall pick. Like, let's turn that into like 3 dominant defensive players, which you can 100% do. Like you
might get more than that for that pick, man.
But like you could potentially, if you make the right deal. And that deal still could be good for the team that you're trading it to if Caleb Williams is as good as you say he is, right? Like if that team that's trading for him goes, fuck yeah, we're giving you our whole defense, and we're giving you and they're all on great contracts, and we're saying fuck it, like we're gonna rebuild with this guy because this guy is like a franchise QB, and he's gonna win a Super Bowl in like 3 to 5 years, like Patrick Mahomes level, then. I mean, the Bears get turned into a fucking really good team right away if Fields is at that level. So that's just a great piece of capital that we have. That is the only thing keeping me from killing myself.
It's a dark way to end our podcast.
And on that note,
see you later, guys.
It's been a really fun ride. For the real BK, Bob Kelly, myself, DK Sizzle, Dave Clarke, this has been Missing the Point. Peace.
Miles, are you ready to record our promo for Season 2 of the Wanna Bet podcast?
David, have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Miles, we're not here to quote lines from Airplane. We're here to tell people that Season 2 starts August 18th.
But I like Airplane.
I know you do, but Wanna Bet is a sports betting podcast. Each week we bet $1,000 on the NFL teams and games that we love.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It is fun. And last year you picked over 60% of your games correctly.
How'd you do?
We're not talking about that. We are telling people that they can find us every Friday. So no more movie quotes.
Roger.
Electricast.
Welcome to Ringside with Ray and Prince. My name is Ray Leonard Jr.
Oh, is that the set? No, that's just my dad.
My name is Prince Daniels Jr.
Daniels again with a big home touchdown.
On this show, we come to humanize
Athletes, entertainers, business executives. We're going to see what makes them tick.
Tuesdays, 10 a.m. Pacific time on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll see you there. Peace and power.
Electricast. Electricast.